You're listening to Bridge the Gap Season 4, a podcast dedicated to inform, educate, and influence the future of housing and services for seniors. This podcast is powered by supporting partners Propel Insurance, Enquire, LTC REIT, the Bridge Group Construction, and Solinity. Learn more at btgvoice.com.
Welcome to Bridge the Gap Podcast, the senior living podcast with Josh and Lucas and the rebel Dale Dupree. Welcome to the show, Dale.
What's up, boys?
Well, so this is a roundtable discussion to talk about the VIP Ignite experience that we're planning in August 16th and 17th in Nashville at the Bobby Hotel. We are sitting currently, for those of you that are listening to the audio, you got to go to YouTube because you're going to want to see where we're sitting. We're sitting in the Bobby bus on the rooftop right now, blocks away from Broadway in Nashville. It's a great day.
It is. It is. The view is nice. And it's not just because we can see the city. Next to me, for all the listeners, is the one and only Josh.
The man-child.
I mean, does it get much better of a view?
Well, no, there isn't a better view. And actually, I told you guys before this started, I'm scared of heights.
Oh, yeah,
and
that's right. We can put him
I'm
right.
literally up against the window of the bus, and I look down about 20 stories to the ground, and so I might have a panic attack during the middle of this.
We got you. Dale's going to hold your hand. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Okay, now, so that our listeners don't turn off, let's get to the details here, right? So why even do this event? Why would we, put it out there, get together, and do an event like this? This is not a conference. This is not like a deal makers forum. This is more of like a family reunion around an experience. And we've brought Dale Dupree and his team at the Sales Rebellion in to come alongside us and help us with the theme. And we're building this whole entire program around the idea of building trust and creating relationships. And so, Dale, walk us through, as you guys have folded in with our group, some of your thoughts around where we're going with this theme around build trust.
So it's interesting because when we first heard the vision, and it was me to start, and I shared it even with Chris, who is tag teaming this whole concept with me around what we're building out for individuals that will have this experience. What we heard immediately was conferences suck, and we're not afraid to say that. And I think that that's the most important part of what we are doing is we are looking at the status quo and saying, what are things that need to be innovated here? All good ideas start somewhere, and it just takes a risk and a couple guys, in this instance, that run a podcast to say, let's give it a shot. So for us, it's this identity of what do people typically do when they come to an event like this? What kind of experience do they get? Because we rarely ask that question. How was it is usually what we say. Right? We never really tag the end of it with how was the experience? Right? If we asked that question, the answer would probably be a little bit different, right? So we want to hone in on that concept, the emotional capacity of a human. And at a conference, what do they want out of this? When people come to the front door, how do we make them feel? When people come into a room with their peers and their colleagues and people that maybe they're familiar with even, how do we embrace the human side of that more? Instead of making people feel with the whole concept of the name tag and the vendor, and how do we make them feel more of having more of an identity in that moment, and then taking pride in what they can build with somebody else as well too. Not just I have to have a conversation with this person because they want to try to sell me something here and I need to be nice, or they want to get introduced to me and I need to be nice, but a willingness to serve through the process of meeting people and communicating with them in the first place. So I feel that at the base level of everything that we're building here is this anti-conference, for lack of a better way to describe it, where we are literally rebelling against what people have been doing subsequently because of the way that conferences are, and saying, hey, let's do something that when people leave, they don't only say, wow, what a great experience. They go back and they create a similar experience inside of their communities, which will have a ripple effect of change that will be unmatched, that will turn into something that none of us are even prepared for.
Well, and it's been interesting. So when me and Lucas are out talking to people about this, the buzz is out there. People are like, what are y'all doing? What can we expect? I don't know about you, Lucas, but it's been a little bit difficult for me to explain it because there's really nothing in our industry that we have experienced that is an example to show them, right? We go to tons of events, tons of conferences, and it's none of that. So Dale, help us out. Like some one-liners on that listener that's out there is like, please give me more. I really want to come, but what in the world can I expect?
Yeah. I started thinking about it like this recently, in that when you look at a conference across the board, a conference is usually pretty similar. Like no matter which one you go to, they have a couple things that might quote unquote differentiate them. But for the most part, it's a very similar experience. Now let's take a sports game. So if I say, hey, do you want to go to a sports game, Lucas? You're going to say, is it baseball, basketball, football? What is it? Which one is it? Because they're all so different, right? Mm-hmm. One of them, you sit in a stand for 9 innings and maybe watch a bunch of people strike out the entire game and nobody wins until 4 or 5 hours later, right? There's a particular feeling that happens in those moments. So what we're doing for people, though, is like nothing that's ever been done. So if I say, hey, let's go to a sports game, and then we go to that sports game, and what ends up happening is the goalkeeper gets a red card, and somebody, on the team that's not a goalkeeper goes into goal for him, and we watch that person create an experience for us and a memory for us, like anything that we ever thought was going to happen. What just happened? That's what we're building here. We're building the concept of how do we interrupt the typical patterns of people. So we're challenging folks at this experience as well too. We're not just saying, hey, come and enjoy Disney World put on by Bridge the Gap. We're saying, hey, come and be excited before you get here, because you're going to play a massive role inside of everything that we do. It's not just going to be a scripted thing that you're going to come and see, but we're literally counting on you to be here because we need your individualism. We need your authenticity. We need your vulnerability. We need your leadership. And that's what we're going to build for people.
Lucas, I am so excited. Literally just in a short amount of time, right here where we're sitting, couple hundred of the best influencers, decision makers, industry partners, developers, owners, operators, every kind of product and service you can imagine, all united around this experience without going through the entire agenda. Like, Lucas, how much can we tell our audience right now without letting it all out of the bag?
Couple of statistics here, right? So the Bridge the Gap has grown into a network. Our mission is to educate, inform, and influence, and that's a part of this too, right? So the people that have been a part of our podcast, they've come maybe to a couple of our masterminds before. All of this is playing into the experience that we're trying to create. It's invite only, 200 people, a mixture of owner-operators and vendor partners in the industry, roughly a similar mix. We're going to have, now it's, yes, they're going to be executives, C-suite people type there, but guess what? We're going to throw in some different people, right? This is not all about your title. We're going to bring in some people from the community level too to come in and have this experience and be a part of the dialogue. Bridge the gap between the top tier, maybe the REIT or the real estate side, but then you've got the operations and the people that are doing the care on this side. Let's bridge that gap. Let's bring some of these people together. And then you've got the vendor partners to the industry that provide products and services. Let's fold them into the conversation, not around their product or service, but what can they do to map their actions toward a bigger goal, a bigger change into this industry, and develop relationships that create this synergy. Because right now the senior living industry is on the edge of a major change and a major opportunity to come in and do things differently. And what is the purpose or the point of all of that? The purpose and the point of all that is to provide a place where older adults come live and thrive and love and want to be there, and changing the perception of what the entire world thinks about aging, older adults, and the places that they live out, maybe some of the last chapters of their life and what that means. I want to be a part personally of a conversation that helps change the way that I end my life and legacy 40, 50 years from now, God willing, I live that long. Let's be a part of a bigger conversation that helps rise the tide, that rises all boats, and changes the way that we perceive aging in America.
So 2 phrases, 4 words: build trust, ignite change. The experience is going to be built around that. What else can we deliver them right now to just whet the appetite for those that are already packing their bags to get here?
big time keynote speaker Jesse Itzler. This is a really unique experience for people to come in and listen to a high caliber, high net worth, high achiever, big time entrepreneur and leader. His entire just ethos is around building your life legacy. I love one of his quotes is don't negotiate your goals. So big time leader, big time achiever. His father is currently battling dementia. We've got this very unique personal tie-in from really what the industry is built to care for. And we're going to have those conversations. We're going to have, even everything is going to tie into this emotion, but people are going to have a lot of fun too. It's going to be emotional. We're going to push and challenge people during this experience, but they're going to have a lot of fun too. We're going to have multiple Nashville recording artists here to come and tell their stories in song and their experiences in life and how that can pertain to all the things we're trying to accomplish here. And then we've got closing out on the last day, on the last morning, we have the one and only Dale Dupree. Dale, what can people expect on the last morning when you get up after having experienced the previous day? What are they going to hear from you?
Spoiler alert.
Really?
Spoiler alert.
There's no way he's going to tell us that. There's no way he answers that question.
Well,
right
I can
now.
say this. I can say that we're going to tie it all in day 2. And without giving too much away, I'm going to say we're going to tie it all in. And the thought process is for us is it can't just be, if we have a motivational speaker come out to our event or to our place of work, let's just say, and they speak to our 90 employees and they rile them up and get them fired up, 90 days later, most of what was said is not retained. Right. And so the purpose of having the rebellion here, the purpose of having me even speak on day 2 is to not just close things out, but also to give actionable takeaways that will be then implemented by the people that are here and promised to be implemented because of their commitment to come to the event and to be part of the change that's going to take the industry by storm that you just talked about. So really, it will be driven by emotion and it will be driven by stories of how we tie in the relationship, how we build trust, how we create change. But most importantly, it's going to have a, as they like to say, sixth sense style of ending. Right, yes.
Well, I am so excited not only about the event experience. I am already looking forward to this community, this movement that begins here at the Bobby Hotel in Nashville, when from all over America, from different communities, different companies, people rally together to ignite change. And then we go back to our respective places of work, our families, our places, our relationships, and change begins to happen because this is just the beginning here. And that's what a lot of times we don't see a connection that moves on past that, right? You go to the event and then, like Dale said, you go back to your place. Maybe you're energized for a little bit, but then people don't stay connected until a year later when they see each other, maybe at another similar event. So this is going to be a community that ignites change, and the 200 that show up to do that pay their money, that show up, they're going to be part of the change, and that community is only going to grow. The movement's going to grow. It's so exciting.
And to all of our listeners, we would love to have everybody come. This is our first of what we hope and think will be future events. And we may have some other gated content that comes out that we can share with some of our listeners. But even past that, we're going to have professional video crews here, professional photographies. The great thing about the Bridge the Gap Network is it's not one event and then see you in a year. We have our entire network. We're going to be delivering a lot of what happens at this event through this experience, a lot of the takeaways. We're going to be delivering this back out to our audience, right? One of the things that's been part of our mission since the beginning, Josh, was we were meeting at conferences and we thought, we got to have a bigger conversation here. We got to have an ongoing conversation here, not just, hey, see you next year, right? And so we'll be able to leverage what Bridge the Gap has built, which is a megaphone to have a conversation about the things that matter in the senior living industry. We're going to be able to share a lot of those things in audio and video and in written word and pictures and photos to all of our listeners. So they're going to be a part of this too. And we're going to make sure that there's ways to build around this community and create this change and create bigger discussions that are ongoing.
Wow. So 24 hours, the Bobby Hotel August 16th and 17th. Jesse Itzler, The Rebellion, Dale Dupree, bringing the heat with BTG. Did you like that? Did you like that? I think we can throw that down right now.
I love that. Multiple Nashville recording artists. Those names are going to be released here very, very soon. And trust me, you're going to be shocked and amazed by this. And then, the other thing about just the feeling of this is not, hey, make sure you get your suit pressed and laundered and come out and get buttoned up, right? No, this is come to the Bobby and let's pull back the veil a little bit. It's gonna be casual attire. Mm-hmm. We're gonna be challenging people in ways that even might make them a little bit uncomfortable, right? So yeah, are you scared right now? You maybe should be. No, but it's gonna be one of these things, right? So casual attire. It's gonna be a unique event, and we're very, very excited to share this with everybody.
Lots of more information coming. If you haven't requested your invite, go to the VIP Ignite experience on our website, btgvoice.com. Sign up. You don't want to miss it.
Yep, everything's at btgvoice.com. The VIP Ignite experience.com is there. You're going to get to see some of these details. Make sure that you also connect with Dale Dupree. We'll put that in the show notes. You're going to want to follow him. There's going to be little stuff that he's going to post out and be a part of this ongoing conversation. And then just be looking for these releases. Registration for those that receive an invite is coming out very, very soon.
Dale, closing remarks.
I want to tell people that are listening right now that if you have a vision for something much bigger than what it is that you're stuck in currently, we have a solution for you. We have an event that's going to not just fire you up, but going to give you the motivation to be able to go back and actionably create change inside of your communities. So come willing, come ready, come as you are as well. We want the authentic you. We want to meet people where they are at this event just as much as we want you to meet us where we are as well too. But this is going to be a lot of fun. I don't know that there will be anything that's out there that can say that it does what we're about to do. And that, my friends, is revolutionary.
And that's saying a lot coming from Dale, because he has a very big following, viral on LinkedIn, and it's just going to be very, very exciting to see what transpire here. So VIPIgniteexperience.com for more information. Thanks for listening to another great episode of Bridge the Gap.
Thanks for listening to Bridge the Gap podcast with hosts Josh Crisp and Lucas McCurdy. If you were informed, educated, or influenced by this episode, we want to know. Leave a comment on social media or contact us in the show notes. Powered by supporting partners, Propel Insurance, Enquire, LTC REIT, The Bridge Group Construction, and Solinity. Learn more at btgvoice.com.